Hi, Simon Sharwood here, and today we're going to have a look at Microsoft Bob. We just booted into DOS and into Windows 3.1. Ooh, it was pretty, wasn't it? Let's have a quick look at File Manager. Anybody remember this? It was just such a horror. You can see why Microsoft wanted a better interface. And Bob was the attempt to do it. So let's have a look at Bob. We start with a nice big smiley face, and now we see the door. Microsoft tried to give Bob what they thought was a really natural interface. They thought that logging in by knocking on a door was a better idea than just a login panel, and so that's what we get, and now we're transported into the lounge room. Microsoft's idea was that working with everyday objects like the Rolodex to find your contacts would be easier than the GUI it had in Windows 3.1. But the GUI it built did all sorts of odd things. You could position a flower pot in mid-air, you could move a door and hang it off a wall, or you could do something like click on the clock to set the time, but then you could also make the clock super giant and move it through some layers. This kind of thing is the reason that Microsoft Bob was, to use the technical term, a big flop and or laughing stock. Sorry, we're calling a spade, but I mean when you have to go through all of this just to decorate your lounge room, I certainly don't think it's more user-friendly even than Windows 3.1. Let's get this back to a decent proportion. Now, the little dog down there in bottom right was called Rover. And to make sure that the interface was, super friendly to noobs, Microsoft also let you do things like give him a little tickle, at which point Rover rolls over. Oh, cute. Not. Let's have a look inside the safe. One of the concepts behind Bob is that when you go through a door, you end up in a different space. So in this case, you're keeping your financial papers and your checkbook and your lava lamp in your safe. Let's have a look here at the financial management app. You might want to buy a home. Okay, so let's do this. Click, 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 click. Build a new list. The dog's there wasting processor cycles the whole time. Oh, this is tedious. And what you end up being spat out into is just a spreadsheet, basically, with a really, really annoying user interface that stops you from getting to the features you actually want to use in a spreadsheet. It's great that there's a little bit of a GUI here to help things along, but gee, it does not look like an efficient way to put in data to anything. Let's try and get out of it. Getting out of this thing is colossally painful. Let's have a look at the checkbook, which is, notable because A, in 1995 people still had checkbooks they needed to balance, and B, because Microsoft decided Bob wasn't a one-dog-fits-all kind of proposition. Nope, let's get a special assistant just for checkbook balancing. I don't know what this fella's called, but, well, he's wearing glasses and he's a book, so he must be clever. In any case, let's leave him alone. Now, we need to click to get out and back into another room, go to a previous room. Yes, we want to go. Thank you, Microsoft. And so the dog bounds off. Continuity people will note that he jumped from left to right and then right to left. We'll figure that out later and instead have a look at the letter writer. And it's here that you can really see how much of an influence Bob was on things that later popped up when Microsoft baked Clippy into later versions of Office. So there are all these features here that let you whimsically do things like add extra graphics for no particular reason and resize them. All of these wonderful features that, to be frank, just get in the way of writing the actual letter. So let's escape if we can. Cancel. It's a pain. You just can't get out fast enough, can you? Let's go into another room through the door that we've mysteriously been able to hang on the wall, and as you can see, that click didn't work, which was the kind of thing that just made people love Bob. Let's go to another room using this menu. At least there are a few, and for some reason Microsoft built something called a public mouse hole because everybody wants to crawl into a mouse hole. And let's instead have a look at the PC that's sitting up there on the pile of trash in the mouse hole. That's running an educational program called GeoSafari. Ooh, exciting. Nice bit of Indiana Jones typography rip-off. And again, we just get this laboured GUI before we can do anything of any value whatsoever. Oops, nice bit of 16-bit animation there. And now, where will the thing stop? And which country in Africa are we looking at? Kenya, yes. Cheesy graphics ahead. And we'll also have a look at, say, Zambia. That's where zombies come from, isn't it? And looks like I'm correct. Let's get out of this one. I just can't tolerate it any longer. Because Bob, by now, is making me wish that I had a proper modern GUI. In comes Rover. Continuity still a problem there with the jump directions. Exit. Yes, I want to sign out. I'd like to be anywhere other than Bob, even Windows 3.1. But of course, you can't do that without the dog coming back to pant at you one more time. Yes, I just want to exit. Please bring me back into Windows 3.1 and then eventually the quiet dignity of DOS.